In this video, we're going to look at the track changes options in Word, which are really useful when working with someone else and editing a document, and then you can see exactly what they've done. So track changes options are under the Review tab of Word, and then sort of in the middle we've got the Tracking and Changes sections here. So if track changes is on, then the button will be a different color. If it's off, then it will be the same color as the ribbon. We can already see that this document has got some changes in it, and I've got simple markup showing now, so that's why these little red bars are here to indicate the changes. If I click on them, it will actually change to all markup, which I can change here as well, and then I can more clearly see exactly what's been changed. The different colors, the blue changes versus the red changes, indicate that two different people have worked on this document, so each person gets assigned a color. So we can also go here to no markup, so in which case it will just show the changed version and then the original without the changes. So I'll switch back to all markup, and then I can also go into here and say show markup. I can show comments, insertions and deletions, formatting changes. You can turn on balloons as well, which are little bubbles. So if I turn on show revisions in balloons, if we zoom out here, you can see the exact details of what was changed. So here they deleted the word huge, here they deleted at the Olympic Games, and so on. If they'd made formatting changes as well, that will appear on the right hand side as well. Then there's a reviewing pane, which we can turn on, which just lists the changes that have been made. So if we want to, I'm going to turn off these balloons. If we want to now accept these changes or reject them, we can use these changes options here. So we can say previous and next. I'm going to go to the next. I'll start at the top, the previous one, and I can either accept or reject it. I can right click to accept it or reject it. I can also use these accept and reject options, and here we've got accept and move to next, accept just this change, all changes, and accept all changes and stop tracking. So if I had track changes on, then it would turn it off with that. So I'm going to accept this and move to next. Here I want to perhaps reject this change, and then I'll move on to the next one, and I'll reject that one as well, but I'll accept this one and reject that one. And then it tells me that there are no more changes, so now I'm done. Now if I wanted to continue making changes to this document, I could either do them untracked, in which case I would leave track changes off, or I could turn track changes on, and then everything I do from this point on will be tracked, which is quite useful if someone else was still going to look at this document afterwards. So let's say I'm going to go down to here, and I'm going to make the change, and I'm going to add some text here, and you can see it's given me the color purple, and it's indicated here because I've got all markup on. If I say simple markup, it just has the red line indicating that there was a change here somewhere. If I do something like changing the formatting, let's say I make this bold, again it just shows as a little gray line, but if I have the revisions in balloons, then it actually shows me, okay, I changed the font to bold. And that can be quite useful if someone is making major changes to a document. You can actually see what's happening. If I make a spelling change, it does that as well. It deletes the original word and adds in the correct word. And if I hover over that, you can see that it tells me that I've inserted it at 20:26 in the evening. So as you go, if you add comments as well, it shows up as a slightly different looking balloon. And it's got my little icon there as well. So it is quite different in how it looks from the balloons from the changes. So it's fairly easy to be aware of what's what there. Finally, if we want to make major changes to the track changes options, we're going to click on the little arrow there to open the options dialog box, and you can see here you can choose exactly what is shown and whether the balloons are used, if the reviewing pane is on and off. And then there's advanced options which let you indicate exactly how the different changes are indicated and what color they are. So moves, insertions, deletions, comments, and you can set a color for author or a color for everyone, and so on and so forth. So all the options are there that you might want if you really sort of diving in deep to this track changes. And what is nice, like I showed before, if I say no markup, then it will show the document as if it's a normal document, which can make it a bit easier to work in. But as long as you have track changes on, then your changes are still being tracked, and as soon as someone changes it to, for instance, all markup or simple markup, then you can again see the changes, even though perhaps they weren't showing when you had no markup on. So if I change that, you can see nothing happens or nothing's visible here, but if I turn on markup, we can see there's the line and it tells me I changed it to italics. So your options are there for different ways of working with track changes, especially if you find the tracking indicators distracting while you're working, then you can hide them but still track the changes. Super useful if you're working with other people on a document.